Hey, Mike from DA Australia. Right, today let's drill a prop. So, basics of this, we need a jig, absolutely need a drill press, non-negotiable. With your jig, first thing to do, seat it on the prop and just make sure that there's absolutely no movement there. It's got to be sitting nice and flat. Occasionally with carbon props, what we'll find is you can get, if I can get that off, you can get a little dag, sitting on the inside there, just a little bit of resin on one side or the other. So if you get a straight edge or something, you can run over there and just make sure that it's absolutely flat. If there's a little bit of wobble there, you really need to work on that as step one. Make sure that it sits nice and flat on both sides. There's no rock there at all. Obviously making sure it's nice and clean on the inside of the jig there as well. So I'm going to get that sitting nice and flat. This Falcon prop's got a beautiful flush fit. We've got no issues there. Okay. Definitely a nice sharp drill bit. So we're drilling 5mm holes in the case of this one for a DA70. Our drill bits, we go just that little touch oversized. So it's a 5.2mm drill bit. Just so it's a nice easy fit for your prop bolts. Now, the other thing to think about is where your motor's going to come on compression. Okay, so we like it really coming on at about sort of 2 o'clock, so that you can give it a nice sort of sweep through there to start. So in the case of a 50, 60, 70, it's pretty much a square pattern. So we just eye it up to somewhere like that, and we're drilling from the back to start with as well. Okay, so what we'll do is drill one hole all the way through, and then we'll pin that. So we've got just a couple of old drill bits. Right, we've cut them down and just put a little bit of a chamfer on the edge just so that they go in nice and neat. So we'll drill one all the way through, pin that, and then we're going to do the remaining 3 just halfway through, flip the jig over, and then finish off on the other side. That way, even with a drill press like this, we can still get a little bit of wander there. So the idea here is to get the straightest holes using the jig from both sides. The other thing we can see is there's a little bit of wobble just sitting on our flat little bit of waste here. So it's moving around until there's no wobble there. Right, and that's where I'll start. So wind this up, spin another job. Okay, so it doesn't really matter which of the 4 holes we start with. Okay, go for about there, and we're going to just take it slowly. Right, so as we go through, only just taking a little bit at a time like that, and then clearing the drill. It is important to do this. Really taking your time. These Falcon props are made of some real tough stuff. So you start with a sharp drill bit, and sometimes by the time you've done one prop, you're ready to sharpen the drill bit again. I'll just keep going through, almost through now. Right, and there's my waste coming through. Okay, so I'll now pin that one like that, so it's locked in position. Just clear out some of the waste there. Alright, so now the rest, again, make sure it's sitting nice and flat on the waste there. And we'll just go about halfway for the remaining few. So I'll go halfway on this one, put a second pin in just to make sure it's absolutely locked, and then we can finish off. Alright, so that'll do it from the back. Just clear the area. Alright, off comes the jig. Alright, so that's what we got so far. And again, make sure there's no little bits of waste material on the back of the jig, and we got it sitting nice and square again. Drop our pin in. Can be a little tough to get in. Right, so that's locked in. And again, we make sure there's no wobble, everything nice and square. Alright, so what I'll do at this point, put my second pin in, lock that in. I might just take the first one out because it can sort of get stuck right on the edge of this, so we'll just run the drill bit through briefly just to clear that hole out. You may find that that'll just slip straight in much better now. So we know that that's absolutely locked in, and now we can just do the remaining 2 holes. Really, the main thing here is just going slowly and taking a little bit at a time. If you plough through and clog up the drill bit, you're not going to have a good time. Alright, easy as that. Have a look. Got quite nice holes there, no worries at all. You want to avoid drilling through these weights if you can. Right, in this case it didn't really matter at all, but occasionally they can be in your road, so if you can sort of clock it off those, it's probably a good idea. Right, that's pretty much it. Ready to bolt on. Hope that helped.